Your brain is lying to you, and in fact, it's probably never told you the whole truth. And if you have anxiety, it definitely is lying to you. If you want to know how to beat anxiety, watch the video. Hi, I'm Johnny. This is Zen Mindset. And this video is going to be about why your brain lies to you and how to break anxiety permanently. But first, we're going to do a quick test. It's called Shoot the Thumb. Hold your thumb up and point to it, and then swap left to right. And try not to get your finger and thumb up at the same time. And go faster and faster and faster. And I promise I'll explain why we're doing this at the end of the video. But try and just do a finger and thumb at the same time. Your brain lies to you all the time. And the best way to explain it is I'm going to put an image up on screen in a few seconds. And if you can, get a pen and paper and write down what that image is. Ready? You said smiley face, didn't you? But it isn't. Could you imagine how mental it would be if you saw somebody walking down the street with a head like that? It's actually a badly drawn circle with two dots and a curve. It's just that your brain has interpreted that image as a smiley face. It's gone to your hippocampus, the part of your brain that controls memory, and it's searched for previous experiences and previous thoughts and images to make an assumption and present it to you as a smiley face. But the key word there is assumption. It's made a guess. It's guessed what that image means. And if your brain can guess that, well, it can assume and guess anything, right? It can assume that your partner being quiet means they don't love you anymore. It could assume that you're not good enough at your job and you're going to get the sack. It could assume that nobody loves you and you're never going to find love and you'll be lonely forever. And it's important to understand why your brain does it, why your brain lies to you, because it has your best interests at heart. Okay, so the smiley face was a bit abstract. We'll do another one now. I'm going to put an image up on screen of a celebrity, and I hope you can guess who it is. Get a pen and paper, write down the name, and it's going to appear on screen now. Okay, who was it? Did you get it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up on screen again, and I want you to look at the image and see what happens when I flip it around the right way. And it's going to spin around now. All of a sudden, it looks weird, right? It's all distorted. The eyes and mouth are the wrong way. It looks awful. Doesn't make sense at all. And it's the same thing. It's your brain making the best guess. It's interpreting the information at hand, and it's doing it because you've posed the question, you've asked it something. Who is it? And your brain is searching your memory banks, and it's trying to do what it can to present you the best guess of who it is. But of course, it is all jumbled and mixed up. So the most important thing I want you to take from this is guess. Your brain is making guesses. They're not facts, it's guessing. All anxiety is, all it is your brain making guesses about possible future outcomes and events. It isn't real. They are only guesses about possible future events and outcomes. And when you think of it like that, when you view it that way, it really minimizes the size of the emotional response to anxiety. And it's the emotions that are the problem in anxiety. Everybody has anxiety. It's an inbuilt, hardwired survival mechanism. It isn't just you, it's designed to keep us safe. If we go back to caveman days, anxiety is what stops you going out of the cave when there's saber-toothed tigers. But we're not cave people anymore. Anxiety is deadlines, it's relationships, it's the drive to work, it's the neighbor's dog barking, it's any numerous things that modern life has filled us with. And it's the emotional side of the things that we have to get control of. But you have to understand your brain has your best intentions at heart. It isn't lying to you to make the outcome worse, it's lying to you to try and keep you safe. It's guessing outcomes with a bias. If you're having an emotional response to things, it will aim the outcome, the guess, with a bias to that. So we're going to do shoot the thumb again. Try it again. See how good you got. Has it got any better? Bet it has. It's got easier and easier, isn't it? And I promise I'll get as to why we're doing shoot the thumb at the end of this video. So we're strategy-based creatures, and one of the things we need to do is have a strategy to turn down the emotional response to things that happen within anxiety. When our brain is making these guesses, we need to turn down the emotions. But we are strategy-based. When you get up in the morning, how you get dressed, you have a strategy. Is it socks, underwear, t-shirt, or is it t-shirt, socks, and underwear? How you make a cup of tea, again, a strategy. Is it kettle on first, cup, then tea bag, and then get the milk? Or do you get the cup and then the tea bag, get the milk and then the kettle? You do it the same way every time. We are strategy-based creatures. And the horrible fact is, if you don't have a strategy to deal with anxiety, if you're anxious, you're already running a strategy, and it's one to be anxious. So we have to form a new strategy. And these things don't have to be difficult, because the fact is our brain does lie to us, but it does it for the best intentions. It isn't doing it to be cruel. It's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to air you away from danger. And if you're having an emotional response to something, your brain sees that as trauma, and it doesn't want you upset. It doesn't want you emotional. It doesn't want you angry or traumatized. So it's going to do its best to make you not do that. And one of the best ways to make you do it is to go, oh, that's horrible, make you anxious. And then you're going to be less likely to go ahead and do the things you want to do. Because again, it's guessing about a future outcome, and if that future outcome makes you anxious, you're not going to do it. So if you're really anxious about travel when you think it's going to be horrible and you're going to get angry and awful in front of your kids and partner and it's going to be awful, well, the solution to that is to not go. So you then, out of confirmation bias, will find any reason to not go. And that's why we need to dial down the emotional side of it. So the tool I want to give you is something I call pivot, and it's very, very easy to imagine. Imagine turning 180 degrees, pivoting away from anxiety, pivoting away from the emotional response to how you're feeling at that time. If you start feeling anxious about something, just think about pivoting around it. Pivot stands for P-I-V-O-T, pivot. P is process. Process how you're feeling. Look at the ingredients behind why you're feeling how you're feeling. Take it apart. Think about, for instance, process. I'm feeling anxious about a deadline I've got at work. I got the assignment late on a Wednesday. It needs to be in on Friday. And I've promised my family to do something on Thursday, and it's making me really anxious because there's no way I'm going to be able to fulfill the obligation for hitting this deadline. It's absolutely awful. Ingredients. What are the ingredients? The ingredients are your work has given you a deadline. They gave it to you on a Wednesday that is quite late. Thursday, you've promised to do something for your family that you can't really get out of, but the deadline needs to be in on Thursday, and that's what's giving you the absolute worst anxiety about it. Visualize. V is visualize. Visualize the most positive outcomes. What can you do about it? And the amazing thing is, when you go through the pivot process, when you start asking yourself to process something, that again causes a paradox in your default mode network, how your brain works. Your brain goes from free-form thinking, unstructured thinking, to problem solving. Your brain has to go into the hippocampus, its memory reserves, and provide you with facts. It can't go on feelings and emotions. So when you go to the visualize of the outcome, you have to look at solutions. You have to visualize it and go, okay, I've got two options here because I don't think I can hit that deadline. I either speak to my family and go, look, this has happened, it's awful, but would you be okay if we moved the date? Because you don't know, you're having an emotional reaction, they may go, that's fine. You also can email your boss and go, hey, look, you gave this to me on Wednesday, Thursday I've got a really pressing family engagement that I really can't get out of. Friday's going to be near impossible. Is there any chance that you can move the deadline? And you're in resolution, you're in solution mode. It's going to allow you to change the outcome. Then O's, observe. And this is really, really important. Observe. Observe how you feel having those positive alternative outcomes. Because before you have those, you're just having an emotional reaction to something that hasn't happened. You're just stuck in that whirlpool of worrying of not making the deadline, worrying about upsetting the boss, worrying about letting the team down or letting your family down. But when you're in the observe stage, you then will download to your hippocampus, you'll download new memories, that, yeah, we've got a solution here. And then T of pivot is take action. And it's a lot easier to take action when you're feeling positive because you've got future outcomes. Previous to doing the pivot process, you're just worrying about an outcome and there's no solution. You're just stuck in worrying mode. Oh my God, and all you're thinking about is not hitting the deadline. All you're thinking about is the negative outcome. You're not thinking about alternative outcomes because you haven't got a strategy to do that. But when you go through pivot, when you process it, when you look at the ingredients behind why you're feeling so anxious, when you visualize better, proper, good for you outcomes, and then you observe how they feel, that will download that information. It will make it a physical, hardwired thing. You then can take action because in your head, in the same way that your brain is guessing future outcomes, it's actually believing a future outcome. You've got positive alternative outcomes. So that's why we use the pivot system. Anyway, shoot the thumb. Let's do it again. Thumb up, point. Ready? Bum, bum, bum. The reason why we're doing shoot the thumb is an example of how quickly you learn. So when you first did this, it was really hard. And already, I imagine you're finding it a lot easier. What's happening is, that's neurons crossing over your brain between left and right. And because you're doing it often, we've done it a few times in this video, your brain has already started building a synapse. It started building a hard physical bridge for the information to go across so that you learn to do the task. And that's just in the space of this video, this one thing, and you've already seen that you've got better. If you use the pivot process, if you go through that, you are going to hardwire your brain in the same way as you have done in the shoot the thumb. You're going to physically rewire your brain to be able to cope with anxiety 1,000 times better, because you are going to understand it's your brain guessing, it's not a real outcome. So you've minimized the emotional value of it, and you've given yourself a strategy, a solution as how to get through it, because you're going to process how you're feeling. You're going to look at the ingredients, the core reasons why you're feeling so anxious, turning off. You're going to visualize alternative resolution, future outcomes, rather than just worrying about them. You're going to observe how that feels, and it feels good. You'll start producing happy hormones. You'll start producing serotonin as opposed to stress hormones because you've got a solution, and then you can take action. Hope you liked the video. I'm Johnny at Zen Mindset. If you've got any questions, put it in the comments and I'll get to them.